Who knew after 20 years in real estate I'd have to make silly videos for Instagram and come out behind a tree?
Stu, we need to do this stuff.
Why can't I just door knock into open houses like I did in the old days?
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so it's because I'm sitting here behind a tree. Come use us for real estate.
Faces around Lake Tahoe are legendary. But this fall, new ones will emerge in the Tahoe Basin. Pullman, Mowat, Gushu, and more. November 4th through 9th, the Grand Slam of Curling's first ever event in the U.S. is coming to Lake Tahoe, where the greatest rock stars on earth unite for 6 days of incredible curling, celebrity appearances, and après curl parties you won't want to miss. Get your tickets at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock.
Hey, curling fans, I'm standing here in front of Sheet Stew here at the High Park Club, and I just want to let you know that I'm so excited to sponsor the sport of curling, to help curling out. So you can go to stewcurls.com, see all my events, see the Stew Sell series, but you know what? I also sell real estate as well. So you need to buy a house, list a house, condo, rental, business. Look.
A very pleasant good morning, curling fans, and welcome to the High Park Club in Toronto, Ontario. It's the Stu Sells Ontario Tankard, brought to you by Stu Sells Realty. This morning we have the matchup between Krista Scharf against Corrie Huerlimann. Both teams carry an identical 1-1 record, and I mean literally identical. They both got wins against Markle and losses to Tiranzoni. So this is a very important game in terms of playoff scenarios for them. The top 8 teams overall will make the playoffs. So extremely important. You see Krista Scharf has a hammer here in the first end, throwing the yellow stones. I'm Dave Schmellam, joined by Connor Sims.
Hi, Dave.
Greetings, Connor. Nice to call my first game of the season with you. You guys usually don't get to hear Connor's voice, but he is the guy making all your magic happen. He is on the replays and all that jazz. He has a roll of quarters out for the replay machine. So he's going to make it work. So right now we just had a little guard violation or a burn stone. I didn't see exactly what.
Yeah, Krista's team was just a little bit heavy and removed the guard on Corey's team.
Well, that will do it then. This rocket is on the way from Stephanie Burgett. And Huerlimann lies 1 and 2.
Yeah, a little fun fact for this Corey team. They defeated Tiranzoni in the Switzerland Nationals last year and won. So they will be the Switzerland representative at the European Championships this year.
Wow. That's I do remember hearing something about that. Obviously a big achievement for them, and it's nice to know that Swiss curling has a solid pipeline coming. On the way from Sapala. Runs it back, gets the one, at another one on the way by. Still 2 Huerlimann stones in the house. But a decent outcome there for Sapala. Those of you who were with us yesterday enjoyed a marathon of curling. 5 draws and 14 or so hours of good curling from the High Park Club, beautiful historic club in Toronto.
And you got to listen to some great commentary from Dave Schnell.
Oh, well, it's a commentary you had. I don't know how great it was, especially towards the end. I was leaning on the caffeine pretty hard. I had my tea with honey to try to preserve the pipes a little bit after all that talking, because, well, I'd like to hear myself talk. Go ahead and write your hate spam in the chats right now. But please do be involved in the chat, and you have to be subscribed to Curling Zone to do that. The benefits of that, you will be up to date on all of the curling action from across the world, wherever it occurs, and we archive as much of it as it can, and on curlingzone.com, we give you convenient links to every streaming option that's available. This one just catches the outside, still 1 stone in the house for Huerlimann. Scharf is going to draw underneath those staggered guards right now. See, the neat thing about this morning, Connor, is doing a lot more of the play-by-play and some of the color, because you're producing up a storm. I can't fake it anymore. I can't just, ask my color guy to sound smart. I could actually reveal that I know a little bit about this game. It's way easier when everybody thinks I'm just a pretty voice. I gotta, because I have a face for radio. That one scoots back way too far. Ice is picking up speed relatively quickly. It's always a bit of a crapshoot in the morning as to what you're going to get. The ice really, really picked up for the very last draw of the evening last night. Got a little bit warmer in the area, I understand, and, well, older buildings just tend to be not as well insulated, so they're a little bit more susceptible to the outside environment. Almost like playing in an arena in that respect.
Yeah, from what I understand, players were getting a 14.5 normally for T-line through
Yeah, and
the player mics that
Mhm.
aren't working this morning.
Well, they're working. They're just working in the lounge, picking up a young child that really wants to be fed. So we're sparing you that. Instead, you guys can pick up your Bloody Marys or Bloody Caesars or screwdrivers or whatever your beverage of choosing is. Coffee with Bailey's.
Yeah, a nice draw from Kendra Lilly there.
That is
Just
nice.
coming up a little bit too deep, though, leaving a freeze opportunity for Corey's squad.
It's one of these times when deep is not good. So here's Marina Lorchner. Trying to work this one on in. Get into a good force position. And another one's going deep on him. So not so thrilled about that one. Scharf still sitting 1. All the action behind the tee line. I was always coached to, and when you have something like this, somebody generally scores 1. But we'll see what happens. Andrew Lilly with her second of the opener. You see everybody intently trying to get the time on it. That one's a little closer. That's Full 4-foot. Good job there. So now Huerlimann in a bit of a trouble facing 2. The double is there. The question is, can they make it without jamming? You could catch it super thin and make it over the top. That's the easiest way to not jam. It's also a little giving yourself less of it to hit. I think you line up for that, and basically as a second before you know you're going to hit it, you hop on it as hard as you can, and that should keep the angle good. They're not going to go with not so crazy weight, so they should be able to manage it. Before the coffee sets in, folks, you get all the really technical terms I like to use, like not so crazy weight.
And what unit do you like to?
Oh, that's of course the very well known skosh.
Yeah, so this is Corey's 4th event on the season.
All right.
Last weekend they came and finished in the quarterfinals at the AMJ Masters Tier 2 event.
Big extension there. Gonna hop on the one, just make contact. Very, very close. I think that was almost a little more weight than they needed to throw there, Connor. Could have made that shot with, well, I just think a good normal as opposed to a firm, almost peel weight.
Yeah, it would have been nice to keep your shooter in that front area too, so Krista wouldn't have the same draws she just threw.
Well, trying to make it over the top, the shooter was always bound to be in the barn. But gives Krista a chance to make a better draw here. Krista Scharf, of course. You may remember her more as Krista McCarville. Early in this, yeah. I'm sorry, Connor. Go ahead.
No, sorry. This team also had a little bit of a lineup change. Not really, because these 4 have played together for so many years now. But they added Andrea Kelly a few years ago, and I don't know, just things weren't working out or what, but they decided to part ways. Or maybe it was a mutual decision, I'm not sure.
There's a lot of things that go into it, and that one from Krista comes all the way down to the tee line, so decision time for Huerlimann. She has the same shot again, which would put the force on. Probably just a little bit tougher right now, a skosh more difficult, or the little tap freeze. But if you do that, you want to get to the inside and make it really well. Because I don't think that Scharf can see enough of that guard to effectively run it in if you end up top button. I think a run attempt would go over the top.
Yeah, I think I like trying to get to nose here with like a backline weight. Push it to at least 4th shot.
And they're looking at the double again now. And she's going to play the little tap, which I think is the way higher percentage shot, especially early in the game. And if you don't throw that double well, you could be looking at 3, which would not be how you want to start this morning. The best part of waking up is not a 3 on the board. So final stone for Corrie Huerlimann. Stares it down with intensity. And it's on the way. Back and forth between straight and curl. Usually a really good sign. It comes across the face, taps it back, rolls it over. They lie shot under cover, and that is almost, did it almost come out too far the other side? Take a look at the overhead. Nope, it's rolled maybe just a skosh too far, but it will be a draw for one for Scharf.
Yeah, I think that's just a perfect shot.
It's
Perfect weight, perfectly managed, and
yeah, it's a 99 out of 100. You ever get those kind of grades, Connor?
nope. But we don't need to talk about that.
Facing one, final stone of the opening end. Walking on down from Huerlimann. $14.56. That is going to be, oh, that's a pistol right there. One yellow, Krista Scharf, with the big clutch draw on the opening end. Huerlimann has a hammer when we come back from Toronto after this.
We are here at the RBC Bloor West Village branch, and I'm here with two of their best mortgage brokers, Keith Joel and Dave Thompson. RBC has been an amazing sponsor of my curling season for about 10 years. And Keith, why is it so important to be involved in the community and sponsor youth sports?
First of all, Stuart, it's been a fantastic 10 years. I'm so happy to be involved, and so is RBC. We enjoy being out there, meeting all the curlers, and having a lot of fun along the way. So thanks for that.
I just want to say I'm with you. I'm a big supporter of the community, and I just want to let everyone know all my mortgages with RBC, all my accounts are with RBC. It's an amazing bank. These are great mortgage brokers. So look, go to rbc.com and come into the Bloor West Village branch and visit these great guys.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey, all you curling fans sitting at home watching the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard here at StuCurls.com. Look, High Park's just down the road. We're here in the Junction. If you bring the map card with you, come to Caribou Gifts and start your Christmas shopping early and get some great gifts for the family.
Welcome back. It's the second end here from the Stu Sells Ontario Tankard from the High Park Club in Toronto. Scharf bailed her team out with a fantastic draw in the opening end. And here's another look at it.
yeah, didn't have much room for error here. Perfectly managed by the sweepers. Got off it. Tell is always close the way they were judging it. And just perfect spot.
Absolute pistol indeed. Now, first one into the full 12 for Team Scharf. Very long corner for Huerlimann. First time going this direction, so they're breaking the ice in coming this way. Fresh pass. We'll see if it speeds up just as quick as it did going towards the boards. Now the center line guard is up, and it will probably still be on the center. But there is that entire stone almost exposed. I think that's center-ish. They obviously know because nobody walked up to look at it. So here's Celine Schwagbo. Past that guard, no problem. Makes a hit, no problem. Rolls over to the corner. So now we're having a little bit of cat and mouse here for a minute.
Yeah, this is Krista's first time still on the ice this year. From what I understand in Thunder Bay and Sudbury, they don't have their ice in yet, so no events played, unless they maybe traveled for a team weekend in Manitoba.
It's possible. That beeping noise you hear is our electric shock collar that we put on Connor to make sure he stays awake. Working to carve this one over Hart from Bergette. They do make that hit. Now it's a chance for Scharf to counter. You see, they're taking a lot less ice than they were taking yesterday. Called games on both sheets. This was usually edge of the 8-foot ice. So maybe just a little bit straighter.
Yeah, it's a pretty normal thing for the ice to strain up after a few draws because sometimes they touch up the rocks before an event, and this is what the 11th draw, I believe, of this event.
Mm-hmm.
So the rocks might be just losing that curl a little bit.
Comes on in right to the button, 14-1 in that direction. There's the international symbol for just blow it up. But we're just going to come down with the easy weight instead. So second from Bergette. They make the hit, and it will get cleared out the back. Nice weight control and good management. But we're back in the same spot again. Trying to make it better. Just bumper weight. Bumper weight's great because you can control it. Always best to take the minimum weight required. Mistake that we've seen a couple teams make this weekend, where just threw some hyper shots where a nice easy one would have done just fine. And that is how you do that. Came out just a little bit on the other side, but well, we haven't thrown one of these easy ones down this side yet, so a little bit of a guess as to the broom. Making them throw a different line is always beneficial. So, Marina Lorchner Her first of two. Looks a little spicy. They seem to be indicating that. Just past the guard. Going to make the hit and pop out and stick right there. Reading lips is probably something like, do exactly what they just did. So Kendra Lilly on the way down. This one also tight to the guard, really tight to the guard. And got a little too friendly with the guard. So opportunity now for Huerlimann. And question is she going to draw open or just come into the top? I for one don't mind drawing underneath the corner. They're there now. They're getting to that.
That's what I'm seeing as well here. Try to draw play away from that center guard. Krista will probably play the hit and roll, but hit and rolls are one of the hardest shots to make perfectly, so you should be able to chase it either way.
Let's see there in the adjacent sheet, Team Tabata. They've been a fun squad to watch come up through the ranks, and we'll get you a score update as we move further along. Already a decent crowd in the lounge, breaking out the coffee. Strolls on the way. They are not laying a stick to it. Trying that slow down carve technique. It is going to find its way to the back of the rings. And that is a backbiter right there.
Yeah, Dave, all the early morning risers are the ones that didn't partake in the oyster bar and free wine tasting at the High Park Club last night.
Well, you combine wine with oysters, which are a known aphrodisiac, people might have been up all night. So now you will see Krista Scharf come after this one here. Now she can scurry under cover too. Question is if she wants to scurry to the side. Appears to be what they're taking ice for. Looks like she may have set that out just a touch on the release. See how it ends up. Now it's coming back just fine. On the straight side, they make the hit. Ooh, must have jumped on him there. And that leaves Huerlimann still sitting shot in the back, so they waited on it too long.
Yeah, I did a game yesterday. It was Armstrong. I can't quite remember who she was playing, but I remember her saying something about a side. A side was curling more than the other.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem to be the feeling of multiple skips that the outsides are a little high right now. We've heard that feedback, and we've also seen some inside out hits to the wing flash, which would indicate that as well. But everybody plays on the same ice. You have to read it and adjust to it, and that's what separates you from being really good to being great. All part of the game. I think the ice has been very nice. It's now Huerlimann taking the opportunity to really put the pressure on Krista Scharf. Again, trying to slow it down. I mean, we've been down this path a few times, so it's no surprise to me that it's gotten spicier. Come all the way down. Hangs on. They lie too, but Chris is going to have a chance to freeze onto that. Don't think that you could hit that with weight and now I think if you hit it with
I don't know. I like this call by Krista though, showing that
no,
she's
yeah.
confident in her draw weight.
Well, she should be. She just, laid it right on the lid in the opener. So her last to the second. $14.5 on my watch. That should be pretty close. Bringing it down. Come on, get all the way in. Oh, we really would have liked to seen that be a few more feet. It's not going to be the easiest chase, though. There is room to make three here. See some housekeeping there. Maybe they think a rock picked there. So Corrie Huerlimann gonna settle in and take this shot for three. Facing one. Final stone of the second end. Pulling it straight now, working on the carve. This is going to cross over the nose. Can you make it this way? Oh, you can't. And you gave up a steal of one. Krista Scharf with a two-stone lead. We'll be back from Hyde Park after this. You're watching Curling Stadium on SSN.
Who knew after 20 years of real estate, I'd have to make silly videos for Instagram and come out behind a tree?
Stu, we need to do this stuff.
Why can't I just door knock into open houses like I did in the old days?
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so it's because I'm sitting here behind a tree. Come use us for real estate.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
No. Welcome again and good morning to the Dawn Patrol here on Curling Stadium, the Stadium Sports Network. It's the Stu Sells Ontario Tankard from the High Park Club in Toronto. Dave Schmel and Connor Sims here with you. And thank you so much for spending part of your morning with us here on Curling Stadium. It was Krista Scharf dodging a bullet there with that over curl by Corrie Huerlimann. And we were discussing, go ahead, Connor.
Sorry, a missed opportunity for 3 points there, and really, that was a 4-point swing, to say the least.
Yeah, and those things tend to add up. But the good news is that it's only a 2-point deficit right now, so could certainly have been worse. And you score your deuce right back here, you're right back where you want to be. So always say it's like you lost the toss and you gave up a deuce. Early on, just don't think about the score too much. Just think about getting your game right.
Yeah, definitely not a bad spot for either team here.
This one's on the way down. Was really looking down at the stone a lot at release there. Since that biter was in, they make the hit and they roll under. Can't get that spin back. They got a little piece of it under. Yeah, they had that Team Scharf coming off the game last night against Tirizone. So they get both Swiss teams in their rotation. So now I see Krista asking for the draw on her cover. Doesn't really mind that it's not her cover, just because of it's almost like staggered guards with the one in the 12-foot. So now debating whether they want to dig it or draw to it.
I like the dig here. I think you roll to a good spot if you make it properly, and you already have that one blue sitting there back there.
I can dig it. Is it too early for me to do the puns? TC would have ripped me for that one. Okay, here it comes on down. It's going to be the draw. This one's going to overcurl too. So they lie third and fourth. Scharf just you see indicating that they're 1-2. Gonna play up high here. Now Huerlimann does have the run of their guard to get rid of the one in the wings. Then you still have to contend with the one in the back four. Still not really set up for a steal without center guards. DC outturn draw is clearly open. In turn should be too. So Sapala. They're working this one hard. It is not heavy. Up there's not bad though. It's not a stone that. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, not a bad miss there. It's gonna draw play closer to the center. And if you go like too deep there, you might leave a triple, right? And Huerlimann will sit three buried behind a guard. So
now they're going to play this short run that we looked at last shot. Stephanie Bergette. On the carve side now. Make contact, push it back. Ooh, didn't catch anything on the way by. It's pretty tough to do. So now you have sharp line 2. Now she's starting to think steel. I mean, she was concerned about the force, but now steel is very much on her mind.
I think this all depends on how aggressive you want to be here.
Absolutely. This shot is the shot that's playing a little bit closer to the vest because you're going to kill another opposition rock and possibly two of them. But you're going to play the roll, which we know is not necessarily as easy. And if you roll underneath your own guard, that's all well and good. But then Huerlimann will probably start bringing play into the center herself, depending on what the stagger ends up being. So this is going to get interesting. First one from Kendra. That one is moving quite a bit as well, trying to push it over just a touch more. They make contact, they get the roll, and they will roll pretty much dead behind their own.
Yeah, it's perfect. I think that's the best you could have did right there.
Well,
I don't think you could ever make the double and get the perfect rolls. So
mean, the only way would be to throw it really flat with a ton of weight and hit the back one first and make the other one go up and out. But that's not a shot I want to try at 8 o'clock in the morning.
It's not a shot I want to try at 9 o'clock at night either.
To Lorchner. Hard on the carve here. They're going to make contact, get the hit, and stick right there. Now, Krista trying to figure out what she wants to do here. Second one on the way from Kendra Lilly. Work on it to hold it. You get the hit, and you're going to stick right there. So now do you want to take a run at the double? Or you go seeing the whole team come down and have a discussion about it. Now you have some options. You can play the double. It's going to dead jam into your own, and it's going to go sayonara. You could draw into the 4 right now and start making it a draw fest. Might be able to make a 2 that way. Might be able to get buried well enough in the 4-foot. Or you're just going to open up some real estate. That seems to be your first instinct.
You think you can make the double without getting rid of your blue, or do you think the blue is always going with the double?
I think the blue is always gone. I don't see a world where you can make it and do it. Unless we go to a world where physics are defied. We're going to throw some pace on this one. Again on the carve with a lot of handle. It hits and sticks right there. Don't know if she set it out or it's just... We've seen that all weekend, that the carve is not really effective when there's a really, really aggressive handle with weight. Almost like it's spinning like a top there. The only time a spinner curls extra is when you're throwing it uber slow a la Nicodine. So now Scharf is going to ratchet up the offense here.
One thing about Krista's team here, they're not afraid to be aggressive. I feel most teams like up two will always elect to go to the hit, but I think Krista's realizing that you can't really get rid of your yellows right now, so why not add another one, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, you're sitting 1-2 and your opponent is sitting 3-4, and the rocks that Huerlimann has out there really aren't usable for her right now. And only way to clear it out, I don't even think the triple goes. I don't, there's no running the guard back. Likely still going to end up with a jam there. So I like this call, keeping it nice and aggressive. First of two for Krista. They're working this one hard. Light is not a bad miss in this situation. Around the top guard. Light and staggered is not the best miss because now we have the opportunity to skip deuce. You see how it is right now. Had that stone just delivered, hung out to the left as we're looking at it just a little bit, would have been useful to Scharf and not so much for Huerlimann. But having crossed over the center line like that, it puts a stagger on it and just took all those run backs out of play. Now it's up to Corrie Huerlimann to convert on this. It's a big shot for her here. Skipper's going to try to make the deuce and bail out the end. First is on the way. This one needs to go for everything. It needs to go for curl. It needs to go for weight. It needs to go for everything, including the kitchen sink. And it is light. It is still Scharf sitting 1 and 2, I believe. So I think, Connor, do you like anything other than a straight guard here? I think you don't overthink this one.
Nope. Straight guard. Let Corey have to hit the side of the 4 foot wide for one. I don't see anything for two. Or more, I guess.
Yeah, I don't see anything either, my friend. You can't hit that blue that's on the L of local with a good enough angle. Now, there's nothing for two. So
Yeah,
this is
straight guard here is the
Yep,
call.
this is the veteran call.
She didn't really think twice about it either. Right when that shot ended, she was already putting the broom down for the guard.
So Scharf on the guard. Well, it's up there. It's high and wide, so there's not really a tap to speak of. Just going to be a draw the 4. Gonna
Might have left it a little bit too high, though. I think there is a hole if she did want to tap it. It looks hard, but that option's available, I think.
They're looking at when I was trying to draw up, playing off that blue onto the yellow, but you just can't get that angle to make that yellow go back onto the other one. So the draw it is out here in the hinterlands and undiscovered country. Rooms 4 exits up the 401. So big shot here facing 2 for Corrie Huerlimann, trying to avoid giving Scharf a commanding lead. It's the final stone of the third. Needs to grab a piece of the 4. Curling pretty well right now. Might be able to make it with the tap instead because it's over curling. Switch to plan B. Will it move up enough? I think it did. Very, very close. They indicate 1 blue. And we're going to look one more time. And it is indeed 1 blue. So you can make it that way too. She gets a single. We'll be back from High Park after this.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
The routine.
Welcome back to the Stu Sells Ontario Tankard. Huerlimann came through with a clutch shot there with a little tap. Not the way they drew it up, but it was good enough to work. It was a good job, I think, recognizing that they had to go to plan B, Connor.
Yeah, for sure. Overcurled on them a bit so they could see the third signal for the tap halfway down the sheet. So
Big part of being an effective team is knowing when to give up on the called shot. So they get that single point in the third end, and now playing end number 4 with Krista Scharf having the hammer. High center there. This one on the way down. Going to make the hit and roll. Dead buried. Nice shot. They lie 1-2 underneath a very high guard that belongs to Huerlimann. Pretty aggressive call here, but aggression is probably called for. Trying to dig out this one that they can half see. Line's getting really good. Catching it really thin. It's good enough to kill the stone and stick around in the back 12. Shot stone still belonging to Krista Scharf. Coming on down, trying to freeze onto the stone that was just delivered. Line is pretty good. Just want to get the weight right. They're going to come down to it, and that's a great outcome. Comes down just short of it, and they lie 2. So now Huerlimann is going to shift the focus to the center, utilize the stagger that exists. Berget on the way with the rock. Both brushers are on this one. Trying to finish off a little bit there at the end, and that is extremely light. So how is Krista going to put the offense on here? Looking at the intern draw, we have tempted to come wide around the outside, on the outturn side. She's thinking about it as well. So will the real shot please stand up? What do you prefer, Connor?
I think I like what Chris is calling. I think I like the wide draw. You draw here, you might leave. I don't actually know. Whatever you're gonna make.
That's always the best shot. That's actually a good lesson for younger players. There's the shot that is a perfect shot, but you have to make sure the thrower is going to make it and it's makeable. Not to say that, I mean, this is obviously a top level team. I don't think there's a shot that's not necessarily in the bag. But for those of us mere mortals, while this one is painfully light, it's 2 in a row from both teams there. So that's interesting. Third and fourth end is usually all the way up to speed.
It's not a bad miss though.
No,
No.
not at all. Now that's going to probably force Huerlimann to go wide on the outturn side.
Oh, I'm sorry. Krista has the hammer, so I'll take the bad miss part out. My bad, sorry. Don't really want to be light on the center line when you have the hammer.
Now without it, it's good. So trailing by 1 without hammer is Corrie Huerlimann. Here in the fourth end, trying to draw all the way around everything. Seem to be way happier with this weight. Really took a turn there. Did get around the guard. Now, is the weight good? And it comes down right to the tee line. Well thrown stone. So now Sharp's going to have to do some cleanup. That guard is not good now. You may see a lot of cleanup.
Do you think you could get all three moving with going off the center one?
I think the blue one probably goes over the top, but we'll see. Coming with some weight. Big extension. You get a lot moving.
That's pretty good.
And that's going to get really close out the back. So it leaves Huerlimann line shot. Second and third belonging to Scharf.
I just want to see that again here, Dave. So it's coming in. So it kicked her yellow guard into the rings, which with hammer is a good, never a bad thing.
Now there is a run available. You could run the center guard back if you wanted to and kill 2 of those yellows. But they're going to elect to draw underneath the stagger and make Krista Scharf throw that. You can draw it past the one you just threw. Going to be really good. Seem to be pretty happy with the weight. Getting ready to put the curl on. Now they got to work it over. Can they get all the way across their own? Got to go further than that. Oh, you just left a tailor-made double. So, double's always going to be the call. It's just what's the best lead to put yourself in a good position. You can still think steal if you really want to, but force is the most important. Well, actually, I'm sorry. With hammer, you can have a lot of stones in play, potentially lying 4 after this. Thank you, Connor. And make the double get just a touch of a roll towards the inside. And they lie 3.
Yeah, putting all kinds of pressure on right now.
Yeah, so, how do you get out of it? You have to dig this and cross the face, or draw on the intern side. That's ain't draw you there, leave there. That yellow is going to threaten.
I'd be
It's not.
tempted to freeze the inside of that yellow stone that was just thrown. I know it's a little risky, but I don't see the dig happening where you can ever roll under. I mean, I'd love to be proved wrong, though.
They're going to try their best to prove you wrong, my young friend. Corrie Huerlimann with her first, indicating his bumper weight. Line's pretty close. Now they're going to work the curl. They're past it. Going to make contact. Oh, it's just going to be dead nose. A little unlucky not clipping the one out in the back, but they lie 1 and 4 right now. It's going to give Scharf a chance to lie 3 after this takeout. Just looking a little bit further up, that's going to move the stones up into the 8 foot. And then I think that Huerlimann's going to have no choice but to play an intern draw. I'd try play it maybe almost to the back 4 just to make the angles tough. We'll figure out where the best spot to put it is later.
I think the perfect roll is to leave it half open or like 3/4 open. That way it's accessible for if you need it for your last.
Yeah, you definitely have to leave it in the open. Give yourself all the angles that you possibly can. Because if you're Corrie Huerlimann, I mean, the difference between giving up 3 and giving up 4 isn't that much right now. So she's going to have to try to throw the hero draw. First to 2 for Krista Scharf here. Leave it in a very good spot. But, ooh. If that blue guard wasn't in the way, I mean, I think that there'd be a triple there, but I'm pretty sure the blue guard's in the way. They're looking at hitting here. I mean, you could, if you hit it with some speed, you can kind of weasel in behind. You'll clip the one in the 8 foot in the way by. And that's going to push your shooter a little bit further back in the rings. But the danger is by clipping that one in the top 8, it's going to make that the stone that's raisable from the other side. So this probably would not be my personal first choice, but I'm also not going to the European World Championship. So huge shot here for Huerlimann. Just throwing like a easy control weight. They're going to try to rattle it back a little bit. They're carving it. It's hanging there. Nose is not good. Got to get past the nose. Got to roll underneath. That's about as good as you can make it. Throwing that shot, but it's definitely still accessible. It's shot stone for the moment. The hit would be really, really close for 3 compared with that one on the side. You could probably get enough rolled just with that. But the hit risks the jam in the back, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think where you'll end up hitting this stone, you'll always roll in for third shot.
Yeah, Connor's just never convinced that you can make that throw as well as he had to. And I think she threw that about as well as she could.
I didn't fully see like what exactly happened, but if you get it maybe any bit thinner and spin down maybe a hair.
Well, that was the call. There just wasn't a lot of clearance to do that.
Yeah.
Let's see a look at it again. So, Krista Scharf. Gonna have a shot for 3 here. Final stone of the 4th. Tight to the guard. As long as you're past the guard, you're golden all day. Past the guard. Stick that shooter. Stick that shooter. It's not going to stick, so it's going to be a score of 2 for Krista Scharf. And she takes a 4-1 lead after 4. We'll be back from High Park after this on Curling Stadium.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Who knew after 20 years in real estate I'd have to make silly videos for Instagram and come out behind a tree?
Stu, we need to do this stuff.
Why can't I just door knock into open houses like I did in the old days?
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so it's because I'm sitting here behind a tree. Come use us for real estate.
Welcome to therockshop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, The Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. TheRockShop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Welcome back to High Park. It's the Stu Cells Ontario Tankard. It's a 4-1 lead for Krista Scharf. But we have some other games going on right now. Give you some updates. Ha from Korea was all over Forsyth. That is a final in 4 ends by a score of 8-0. Taba and Howard practicing speed curling right now. They're playing the 6th. Howard has a 3-2 lead. Fujisawa and Duberstein are tied up in the 5th. And Constantini with a 2-1 lead over Rosan. And back here we have Huerlimann with the hammer playing in end number 5. She trails by 3. Dave Schmel and Connor Sims here with you, and thank you so much for joining us here on Curling Stadium. Please do us a favor and like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, helps us out a whole bunch. And with subscribing allows you to engage in the chat, which is some of the most fun things. We had a very interactive chat last evening. So we have the center guard up for Scharf, corner guard up, so we're going to see some action. Huerlimann definitely needs to generate some offense. It wasn't for the lack of trying, it's just Scharf has really been on point so far this game, Connor.
Yeah, for sure. They're putting a lot of pressure on the Switzerland team here.
That one does come into the rings. So conventional wisdom would say you're going to go underneath your cover. She's going to probably elect to hit the one that slipped in and scoot over for cover. We have a laces timeout. Say I only need one stinking brusher for this shot. Just going to make it myself. I don't need your help. So, Swain Schweigel. They elected to take the draw. Very tight to their own. They get past it, and the weight is pretty good. Takes it right to the tee line. Carried pretty well. You're just going to see Krista play follow the leader here. Put one there and take the effectiveness away. We might see a few stones thrown over there. So Sapala.
So this is Krista's tune-up event, I guess you could call it, because their next event after this one is the Olympic pre-trials in Nova Scotia later this month.
Ooh, just a little bit heavy and wide. So opportunity for Huerlimann to ratchet up the pressure. Probably going to draw another one in there. So now it will be Stephanie Berget's opportunity to execute that draw. This one has to go for weight. It's a 15-4. Kisses their guard and just nibble the rings. Serves as another guard, though. Krista can't afford to ignore that. Touch surprised she's not going for the double peel, but this is a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I think this shot still leaves the back one buried. So I agree, double peel here.
But the plus side is you're going to be lying too if you make this well, so that's good in and of itself. They say the weight's a little down. Makes contact, rolls on over, taps their own up, and they still lie one. Under staggered cover with the wrong stagger to kill it. So now, Huerlimann with no way to access that one in the 8-foot can either decide to shrink the scoring zone now or open it up, and the answer is let's open it up. See there, she's trailing by 3. Playing end number 5. Back and forth between the straight and curl must be pretty good. They're going to make contact and get 1 and 2 of them. Good shot there by her. So now looking to take on, trying to see if that, how easy the run is. Interesting choices abound here. Clears both the guards, which is a great outcome. Spins over for another corner. But now it looks like Huerlimann should be able to come up with a deuce here, as long as they execute the rest of the way. That's really what they need just to get back in the game. Not that they're out of it by any sense, but they had to feel like that they've just been missing opportunities. Their only single point was on a hero draw. So to even be in this situation, they had to consider themselves a little bit lucky.
Yeah, they're definitely not out of it. The first 2 ends stayed controlled. They forced Krista to hit the button, which she did against 1. And then second end, they had an opportunity for 3 and resulted in a steal 1. So they've had pressure and they've had opportunities this game. So just got to stay patient and hope one of those opportunities will arise again.
So they get the hit and stick there, and a little roll towards the center. Now we're going to see the eternal battle of hitting and trying to group the stones and trying to separate them. There goes Connor's shot collar again. This is Kendra Lilly. With her second stone in the 5th. working it over, and they will successfully group the stones. Close for shot, though. Tough to say.
Isn't it so big who's shot here for what the next decision will be here for Corey?
Oh, absolutely, because if blue is shot, you just split the rings, nice and simple, easy peasy. So it's a big determination to make. They're taking multiple looks at it. So it looks like they've decided that they are shot stone right now. So it's going to be an out-turn draw to the left side as we're looking at on the long view. Marina needs to put this wide in the 8-foot and not leave a possibility for a double takeout. Her second stone of the 5th is on the way. Weight looks pretty good. Just want to even it up, ladies. That's very well executed. Now, Team Sharp is going to try to take their assessment of the situation. Note to all you club curlers at home, they're being very respectful of the other team and let them control the house when it was theirs. So Krista might think it's her. So it's going to be very interesting. Battle of she said, she said. Hit that roll center a little bit. Now we're going to get a hit and roll back. Both teams think that they're shot. Working hard on the curl here on the Huerlimann stone. Can't lose it. Well, that makes it a moot point as to whose shot now. We're going to take another look at it, saying if she was convinced they were shot, maybe they were. Which begs the question, are you pushing for a force here, or because you could easily just push your own yellow onto the blue and make it a moot point. You'd like to, but then we're probably working our way back to a blank end. Likely leave a shot at a blank. Your thoughts, Connor?
Given the score, I think you got to play this run back. If you're unsure who shot, then I think you have to play this 2-foot run back here. If you were positive you were shot, I would just split the rings. And I mean, giving up 2 here is not the end of the world if you're Krista's team, because you get hammer in the 6-up-1, which is a huge end to have hammer in.
So, in the hack is Scharf. Just looking to push this back onto the blue. Mission accomplished. Oh, and that's a roll to a beautiful spot. You're going to get the force anyway. That was well thrown, well executed, and they got a great kick out of that. So it'll be Huerlimann taking the nose hit for a single. And this is just Skip's preference here, whether you feel more comfortable with the hit or the draw. You feel pretty confident you're going to hit all the 8-foot if you're playing at this level, but once again, if you miss it, you're giving up 2 points. That's really, really, really bad. So just going to elect to take the single here and live to fight another end. It's her last of the 5th. Line looks pretty good to me. It's starting to come over. And it's right where it needs to be. So it's a single point for Huerlimann. She trails by 2. We'll be back in just a second.
We are here at the RBC Bloor West Village branch, and I'm here with 2 of their best mortgage brokers, Keith Joel and Dave Thompson. RBC has been an amazing sponsor of my curling season for about 10 years. And Keith, why is it so important to be involved in the community and sponsor youth sports?
First of all, Stuart, it's been a fantastic 10 years. I'm so happy to be involved, and so is RBC. We enjoy being out there, meeting all the curlers, and having a lot of fun along the way. So thanks for that.
I just want to say I'm with you. I'm a big supporter of the community, and I just want to let everyone know all my mortgages with RBC, all my accounts are with RBC. It's an amazing bank. These are great mortgage brokers. So look, go to rbc.com and come into the Bloor West Village branch and visit these great guys.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Olympics. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey, all you curling fans sitting at home watching the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard here at StuCurls.com. Look, High Park's just down the road. We're here in the Junction. If you bring the map card with you, come to Caribou Gifts and start your Christmas shopping early and get some great gifts for the fans.
Over the last year. And welcome back to the High Park Club. It's a Stu Sells Ontario Tankard. It was the single point for Corrie Huerlimann. She trails Krista Scharf by 2. Scharf now with the hammer. We're playing end number 6. Notice we're having a little bit of a hiccup with some of our cameras here. Working to get that fixed for you. Right now, I can tell you that they've thrown some beautiful stones made of fine granite, most likely a combination of Treffer and Blue Hone. In Ontario, I think came from one of two sources, either Keys of Scotland or Canada Curling Stone. So you see that centerline guard for Scharf and Huerlimann has one in the rings. Looks like they're going to put up a corner here. Will Sarah Potts. It is on the way. Oh, they make the run back and get the corner. He got this, that, and some of the other. Great shot by Sarah Potts. Taking a look at that again.
Yeah, just a great shot. And for a lead, making this run back slash.
You must be smiling being a lead rock yourself. Really cool shot there. So now here's Huerlimann. Bringing this stone in. Looking to add another guard. So they have 2 up. Chris is going to start doing some cleanup mode. Holding the 3-rock lead. 2-rock lead with hammer. Score is 4-2 in favor of Scharf. Scharf with hammer here in the 6th. Make the peel without a problem. And we're going to do a little bit of shampoo curling. Just put the guard back. Nicely thrown. It's going to end up a little tighter than halfway. And in a better lineup position. So will be the double peel attempt. Or it looks like they're just lining up for the straight peel. Sapala. Pots on the brush. They get the one in the back, kick their own out too.
Definitely not a bad result.
No,
Don't
not
want birds
terrible.
in play.
Oh yeah, they did. He did see them try to carve it over, but I just feel like at the up weights, the carve is not being effective on these particular sheets of ice.
Just makes you have to throw it a little better.
Nothing wrong with that. So the guard coming back. Mead as called. Now the angle's a little better for the double, but just going to take the single peel. At some point, Huerlimann's going to have to make a commitment.
Yeah, I think Krista's recognizing that high guard shouldn't come into play as it's anything around it is chaseable, so just trying to get rid of that tight one, which is the more valued stone for Corey's team right now.
And they're going to get it gone. So let's see what the choice is. It's going to be right back to the guard. Trying to get a half shot out of Team Scharf here. She is committed to this course of action. When I'm at the grocery store, I have a hard time committing to paper or plastic, so I appreciate this type of enthusiasm. So, the guard on the way from Marina. This one way tighter to the rings. And actually in the top 12. Now we'll have to play the top one. Lily on the peel. And Lily on the make. Interesting to see if this is one more guard or yep, she's going to come around everything now. Deciding this is the time.
Yeah, I think I like that. If you wait one more, then Krista might abandon an appeal strategy on her first year, and you might not have a shot to bury one on your last.
Trying to slow it down. It looks a little bit spicy. Well, it's in there for a second shot, but just a little bit too much. Good crowd here at the Hyde Park Club. Beautiful historic place, open 114 years. You see the lounge pretty full for the morning. People enjoying their morning beverages and otherwise. Singapore Grand Prix is on in the background. Very interesting. They're discussing the whole strategy here. What do you like, Connor?
I either like going for the double and rolling away, but then you're probably forced. But then I also like just hitting and rolling on that back one that was just thrown. I think you could see enough of that yellow stone that if Corrie was to sink one, I think you could play a tiny raise to get a possible 2 or 3 under.
Yeah, that's true. But, for myself, I don't mind getting forced to take a 3-point lead in the sixth. That's not a bad outcome.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards the hit and roll, just like a rock on the back 4 rock.
Yeah, interesting set of choices. Trying to see what they could or could not do with that bluestone. To be careful coming on the intern side, because to get in the right spot, or else Huerlimann will sink one, and possibly in a place where your red's no good to go get it. Elected to take the much safer play here and just clear out some stones. I don't mind this. Once again,
No, I
you're
don't
winning.
think it's a bad call. Yeah.
Gets the one, does not get the one behind it, but still a pretty good outcome. So likely we'll see the force going on here. Don't see a good way to generate a steal. Just you need to lie 2 in a undoubleable position.
She did keep her shooter, which is pretty big here for Krista, because she'll have an opportunity to get her deuce if
you leave a double at all, yeah.
Placed perfectly, yeah.
It's going to be an interesting situation here. The key is to make this and roll far enough away there's not a double. kind of like rolling. If I could ever roll all the way over to the around the edge of the 8 on the tee line, that would be a force all day, most likely. Just can't lose it. Can't lose it. Can't really nose it either. Final stone for Huerlimann. Gonna hit it. Gonna roll. Oh, it's right dead in the middle. So there's gonna be a chance for 2 here. Basically, dead nose will do it.
Yeah, and it rolled to a spot that if Krista was to just miss it, like the backstone, that she should remain shot stone. So
Yeah, you're not taking much of an angle here. You'd have to miss it pretty poorly to not score at all. So, chance for Krista Scharf to take a commanding lead of 4 stones here in the 6th end. She leads by a score of 4-2 currently. Final stone of the 6th, looking for the double. Needs to hit this on the nose to get her deuce. Trying to walk it over. Looks pretty close to me. Gonna get the 1, get the 2, and there's your deuce. The skipper comes through, gets a 4-rock lead as we head to 7. We'll be back from the High Park Club right after this. You are watching Curling Stadium.
Who knew after 20 years in real estate I'd have to make silly videos for Instagram and come out behind a tree?
Stu, we need to do this stuff.
Why can't I just door knock into open houses like I did in the old days?
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so it's because I'm sitting here behind a tree, come use us for real estate.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsocktickets.com. Let's rock!
Welcome back to the High Park Club. And it was Krista Scharf making the double to give herself a commanding 6-2 lead as we enter end number 7, Connor.
yeah, just cleanly thrown rock. Krista probably thrown a million of these in her career so far, and a little bit of curl. Yeah, perfect.
Picture perfect. That is exactly how you do it. So now it is full out offense for Corrie Huerlimann. As she trails by 4 here in the 7th. We're at the High Park Club at the Stu Sells Ontario Tankard. Brought to you by the Stu Sells Real Estate Group, tremendous sponsor of curling throughout Canada. All right, once again with a score update. We had that final over Forsyth by a score of 8-0 in 4 ends. It's the 8th end right now. Howard and Tabata are engaged in quite the battle. It's a 4-3 lead in favor of Howard. Fujisawa 7-3 over Duberstein of the Philippines, and Constantini 3-1 over Rosen. Both those games are in the 7th end. And back here on our game, it's Huerlimann trying to drive some offense. And us trying to find a camera that's not frozen. Huerlimann's going to try to throw the double guards and get a lot of things going. There's a distinct possibility that I'm talking to myself right now. And if I am, okay. We lost both of our cameras, folks, so they're going to be throwing granite stones. Huerlimann would be advised to throw the blue ones. Scharf would likely defend with yellow ones. Krista Scharf and her team, they hail from the Thunder Bay area. As Connor said earlier, it's their tune-up event before the pre-trials. Huerlimann is going to be heading to the European Championships. And after some number of stones were thrown, there are 3 yellows in the ring and 1 corner guard, which Huerlimann's going to have to draw under. And did successfully draw under once to the back 8. They're going to come on down and have a conference. Now, folks, you don't have epilepsy. It's just a slight mechanical glitch right now. But if you do, I'd advise against you watching this. So ideally, you have to use that corner guard. If you throw another one, she's going to peel it all day. You're down by 4. You really need to try to set up a 3 here. So for my money, I'd try to draw underneath the corner, well buried. It doesn't even matter if you're deep. You're going to have to do something creative to score. If you come deep, later on, you might be able to use some of those yellows to kick out whatever is countered here. So you need to get a lot of yours in the rings and find a way to make them count the end when you're trailing by 4. Especially with somebody with the experience of Scharf. So, assuming the draw was just thrown and made, Scharf is likely walking up for appeal right now. Appeal is on its way. Oh, it runs back into the rings. It gets them all gone. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I'm just kidding, folks. I have no idea.
That was a good one there, Dave. You even had me believing that the cameras were working again.
Watch them all go. It reminds me of a very famous clip that after you're done watching Curling Zone, which you can never be done watching Curling Zone, just go on YouTube and Google Kevin Harlan cat scores touchdown. Probably he was on the radio doing an NFL game, and this cat came onto the field, and it was absolutely amazing. And Kevin Harlan went, and there's a cat on the field, and the cat is at the 20. The cat's at the 15, and the cat's now in the CDI red zone. CDI for those who get it done. And he's at the 5, and the cat is in for the touchdown. And the cat is elusive. It continues to run. It continues to scurry. There's 3 security guards. They can't catch this cat. It's amazing. This cat is elusive. It's Houdini. And the cat goes up the tunnel. But how much of a pro Kevin Harlan was to get the sponsor plug in while he was doing something funny. That's a pro's pro right there. Something happened. The draw was made. I predicted that. Okay. And timeout's called. Both teams are consulting. Most likely speaking about curling. Could be speaking about the upcoming playoff series in the MLB. Philadelphia Phillies will be playing the Los Angeles Dodgers in the NLDS. The Toronto Blue Jays are still in it for sure.
Still in it, indeed.
Might see a rematch in 1993, where my childhood dreams were crushed by Joe Carter. Touch 'em all, Joe. I will fully admit I cried my little eyes out that day. And as we're waiting for this to come up, the Dow Jones Industrial Average on Friday closed up 238 points, a change of 0.51%. The S&P was up 0.44%. The NASDAQ, tech heavy, was down just slightly. Hopefully we'll get our video back before the Egerton Crosstown is open. I know that's something that Torontonians have been waiting for a long time. University of Toronto is now mandating a 5-day-a-week in-office work week for the staff. No more remote working for them. Prime Minister Carney is going to meet U.S. President Trump next week for potential movement on steel and aluminum tariffs, something that would be beneficial to both the countries. The no-name discount grocery stores in Toronto are closing. Sorry, in Ontario are closing after just 1 year. Blue Jays and Yankees are getting ready for the ALDS. The series opens this afternoon at the Rogers Center. Toronto has Kevin Gossman pitching, and they're a slight favorite at minus 125. Yankees are going to counter with Luis Gill. Tonight for the Phillies, it will be Christopher Sanchez versus Shohei Ohtani. That game is basically a pick 'em at 105 either way. Brewers versus the Cubs. Freddie Peralta will be facing Matthew Boyd. The Brewers are favored at minus 155, and it will be Troy Melton taking the hill for the Tigers against George Kirby of the Mariners. Mariners heavily favored in that one at minus 175. Right now, overall odds to win the World Series, the Dodgers are the favorites, followed by the Phillies, Yankees, Seattle. Fifth place is Toronto, Milwaukee, Chicago, and the longest shot on the board is the Detroit Tigers at plus 1,200. I would talk about curling if I could see it. Our cameras are stuck right now. Assuming after timeout, they were told by their coach to lay another one in there. Sharp is likely countered with many takeouts. Peels. Fine granite running up and down the ice. Those stones weigh between 38 and 44 pounds. If I could cue up the Jeopardy theme music right now, I would, but then we might get a copyright strike. We certainly can't do that. Be sure to change your clocks this weekend. Daylight savings time ends in most of the country. We are working to try to rectify our difficulties, so I appreciate your patience.